Hey, everybody out there in YouTube land. This is Mike Klijanowicz,
Tony Insley.
and together we're going to put together a new podcast show that we're going to start doing. It's going to air every single Friday night at 8 p.m. We pick Fridays because, most people, are done work for the week, trying to not start their weekend yet. Maybe they go, relax, from come home. But 8 o'clock is a good time where nothing's going on except maybe trying to find something to watch on TV. So why not
Right.
watch us
Yeah,
on YouTube, right?
of course.
So what we plan on doing is just kind of keeping it real. The show is called Right Way Live, Real Talk, Real Healing. We're going to talk about what works, what can actually heal you in real life. We're going to talk about our own personal struggles. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. But next week, or actually this Friday, is going to be the first real episode,
Premiere.
right? The premiere
Yes.
episode. And what we're going to do is we're going to introduce how, I came to meet Tony, and how that all happened, and how we got him involved with Right Way Outreach Ministries, and what happened since then, because a lot has happened since then, and how God has really impacted my life and Tony's life. And, we're going to talk specifically the first episode about how we met and how God kind of put our paths together, because we really feel like, there's a reason. We don't know what it is yet. Well,
Right.
we're supposed to
We're
do something good.
figuring it out as we
Right,
go along.
right. Figuring it out. That's a
Yeah,
good idea.
but it was definitely a divine plan
Mm,
in there. We met under the most unique circumstances. At least I think so.
mm.
That you can think of, and we're going to talk all about that on Friday, and how we met, and how it's been since we've met, and what's going on with Right Way. And we're going to help a lot of people as well. In turn, you'll be able to comment and speak with us via the YouTube channel, and you'll be able to put your input in, and really get a better understanding of what's going on with Right Way and what's going on in the world right now.
And what, we'd like to hear from you too. We want this to be an interactive thing. So, if you like what we're saying and you want to comment during the show, you want to during the show, or send us something to talk about or mention something, we're welcome to see your comments in the live chat that we're going to be doing on all our episodes. But we would like to get some subscribers on the channel. So, watch the channel, subscribe to the channel, like the channel, and then that way you'll be notified when we do go live. And you'll get like an email notification that we're live, so you can click on and watch us or listen to us or check us out. But we plan on talking about all kinds of different topics, including addiction, including homelessness, mental health struggles, recovery systems, why people stay stuck in life, and why even some churches miss the mark with what they're doing. They think they're helping people, but they're really sometimes just putting band-aids on the problem and not really addressing the problem. So we're going to kind of talk about what works and what organizations should be doing to help people that are struggling in different situations. And really, we want to have some nice messages for you so that you can kind of learn from our experiences. Number one, how God works, because we're all kind of controlled by God, right? So like we want to learn how God works in our lives and how he works in your life, right? And at the end of the day, kind of tie it all together and let everybody understand that, like, you don't have to struggle, you don't have to go through all this hardship on your own. You have this awesome person named God that can help you, guide you through your life. So we're going to be talking about that. And we're not here to sugarcoat anything, so we're going to kind of cut it to you like it's raw and just kind of tell the truth and say what it is. We both have been through, some different programs and things, and we know the truth because we were through them ourselves. So But this is not like a religious show. This is just supposed to be something fun that we're doing to kind of spread the word around about, recovery and healing and health and living and just everybody just achieving your best things that you can achieve in life. So,
And
that's
we're
kind of
we're just gonna wing it.
that's kind of what we're
We're
gonna
a
do,
couple
right?
regular
Right,
guys. We're just gonna wing it. There's not gonna be any script or anything in that regards. We're just gonna talk about real things and the things that are going on. And we're gonna offer help and we're gonna let you know what's working for us and what has worked for us in the past. And then we're gonna talk about the future of like where we're going and where we're trying to take right way outreach ministries and just extend and offer help to people like us,
right.
and you guys.
Right. And just to briefly, kind of put it out there for what Right Way Outreach Ministries is doing is, they are a completely nonprofit, tax free organization that is approved by the IRS. So if any donations are made, they are tax deductible from your income taxes. We do have a link in our profile page where people can make contributions, but our major fundraising campaign that we're doing is we would like to purchase our own house to be able to house people that, let's say, God puts along our paths, both
Mm,
mine and Tony's path, who need a help and a helping hand and a help up, not a hand out. You know what I'm saying? So we kind of have these plans. Tony was through a recovery house that he was just living in recently. And, he actually kind of got, asked to leave. And we're going to get into that
I
in a
didn't do
little bit.
anything
Yeah,
wrong, I
yeah.
promise. I
Gonna get
promise I
into
didn't do
that. It's
anything wrong.
kind of probably illegally asked to leave, really, to be honest with you. But we'll get into that. We're actually consulting an attorney to decide whether or not he was violated his rights or anything. But at the end of the day, we're done. We're done, going to other people's programs. We want to have our own program. And, Tony and I have this vision of, Right Way Outreach Ministries purchasing a home
Mhm.
where Tony can actually live in the home. And then we can actually place other people who we just randomly find, right? As long as they're willing to follow some basic rules, we just randomly find people to live in the house together, follow some basic rules, and kind of get their lives back together. And these are people who might be homeless, right? They might be living on the street. They might have a car. They might be living in their car. But for whatever reason they're homeless. So we're gonna talk to them. We're gonna hear their stories. We might even have some of them as guests on this show to talk to you, so you get to see that some of these people are real people too. Like, they have real stories, they have real, lives, and they're here to make an impact too. So, it's not just homeless people. We're going to be working with people coming out of addictions, right? I mean, we know how these recovery programs work. There, a lot of them are just a money making operation, run like a prison, where they just get a bunch of inmates to pay them money to be in a facility. The only difference is from prison is the inmates actually pay to be there,
Mhm.
and they get treated like a piece of paper, and when the money's gone, they're asked to leave. So
Yeah.
they build themselves as these great programs that are here to treat people and help people and provide services, but at the end of the day, it's all about money to a lot of them. So
Mm,
we want to kind of take the money equation out. We'd rather just buy the house, and then Tony can run the program. We will be asking participants who stay at our place to pay a little bit of a monthly fee to cover basic living expenses
yeah. Lights
like
and
electricity
yeah.
and internet and
Mhm.
water bills and just bills to run the house, maybe general maintenance fund that we need, money to go into a maintenance fund. But we're not talking about thousands of dollars a month per person. we're
Yeah.
we're literally talking
Like
about
a mortgage payment
yeah, like
for a room.
somebody for like $50, right? Like
Yeah.
$50 a
Yeah.
week,
Uh-huh.
250 dollars a month, something like that. Something
Whatever it
very,
works out to be,
very
yeah.
reasonable where you can, obviously just get any job, go to Royal Farms or Wawa and just get a job, make some sandwiches and be able to easily afford a place to live. and also have opportunity to save some money, get your life back together, build your credit back up, and also, Tony's going to help them apply to the state of Maryland for, medical assistance
Mhm.
cards, for food stamps
Mhm.
assistance, cell phones assistance, possibly even Section 8 vouchers,
Right.
because we don't
Housing
we don't want them with
vouchers.
us forever, man. We don't want them with us forever. We'd rather have them kind of healed up and fixed up and start transitioning them to live on their own,
Yeah.
where they can actually, better themselves and get a little bit better job and make a little bit of money, improve the credit, and then maybe even call me back, man, because I'm a real estate agent.
Mm.
So, maybe call me back and I can hook you up with a mortgage lender who may have some free money that you can get through grant programs or whatever. And maybe we turn these people into homeowners. I mean, how awesome would that be? Saying we took a homeless person, we put them into our transitionary housing for a little while. We
Mhm.
we helped them fix their lives together, got them into temporary independent living situations on Section 8 vouchers,
Mhm.
for a little bit, which is what the program's designed for, is
Right.
for temporary assistance,
Right.
not permanent assistance, like a lot of people like to use it for and think they're entitled to it now. So it's not an entitlement program that we're talking about. We're talking about a program that is designed to help people temporarily get themselves back together. And everybody goes through hardships in life. Some just go through a little bit worse than others, but people need to be here to help these people. So if we can get them, into their own apartment and then eventually have them purchase a house, turn them into a homeowner, right? Like, isn't that the goal? And
Yeah.
then maybe they can, help more people out, or they can refer more people to our program. So
Mhm.
all we're trying to do, Terry and I, is just help as many people as we can
Yeah.
try to better themselves, better their life, find Jesus, because he really is the key, right? Like, he's the
Mhm.
key. He's the key in my life, and I know he's the key in Tony's life to
Amen.
kind of just guiding us and guiding our decisions every day, and
Yeah.
we get curveballs thrown at us just like the average Joe does, man. I mean, some days you just get tossed out on the street for no reason whatsoever, and you're like, yeah, asking yourself, you can either say like, well, why God, why did you do this to me? Or you can say, I'll tell you what, man, I bet there's another door that's getting ready to open for me
Yeah.
that's 20 times bigger than the last
Yeah.
place I was at,
Yep.
because that's how God works. He's got to close the door to open the door.
Yeah.
So, you can either look at it from a pessimistic standpoint or optimistic standpoint, but and that's kind of what we're here to do. We're here to kind of be your guides, right? Like, guide you
Yeah.
through
We
this.
wanna we wanna create
Yeah,
success stories.
exactly, exactly. And the number one key to success is have a good coach, right? So, like, if you had to pick a coach, right, why not pick the man that created all coaches, which is God, right? I mean, he's like the best coach ever. He knows everything. He created everything, and that's just it. So, you have him as your coach, and we'll give you some practical ideas. I mean, I know church isn't for everybody, and I get that. Not everybody wants to go to church. Some people turned off by the church because of all the scandals and everything in the Catholic Church and all the priests and all that stuff. And some people don't know. Some people don't want to be Catholic. Some people want to be Christian. Some people want to be non-denominational. Some people want to be, a Hindu. Some people want to be, whatever you want to be, right? Like, but the common thing in most religions is there is one God, right? So the difference is, where we come in is, there was only one Jesus. That's the
Mhm.
difference. So, for us, that's the way to go. And when we try to live our lives according to Scripture, according to the Bible, according to the basically rules of the road, and there's a lot of rules in that book, but there's some basic core principles about just number one, just being a good person,
Mhm.
and then just being there to help others when they're in need. Like, that's really what it comes
Yeah.
down to and what it's all about. Like, if
Yeah.
you do that, you put others first before you put yourself there, and you put God before you put yourself there. That really kind of solves most of the problems, and then you get to live the life of peace, and and prosperity and abundance and less stress and everything, right?
Mhm.
Like, but it's hard to get there. It's a journey, and the first step is, I guess admitting, right? Like, everybody starts with denial, right? They're denying that they're a problem, but every one of us is a sinner. Including me and Tony and everybody in the world. Nobody's perfect. There's only one perfect person to walk the earth, and that was Jesus himself. And he was sent here to be an example for us to follow and take his lead and try to live a life like him.
Mhm.
And we're never gonna be able to do it. We're always gonna fall short,
Sure.
but you still gotta
We're
try,
human.
man. You gotta try.
Yeah.
That's the key
Yep.
is try. So we're here to kind of help people, encourage people, try to give some wisdom to people during this show, some wisdom from things that we've learned personally
Mhm.
from our own experiences and things that we were sometimes forced to go through that we didn't even
Yeah.
really expect that we'd have to go
Yeah.
through. And it was tough, man. Some of it was really tough,
Mhm.
and I mean,
Indeed. Yeah.
homelessness is not easy, right?
Yeah.
Neither is a depression where you're suicidal either, right? So,
Mhm.
we've all had our struggles and we all have adversity, and it's just how you deal with it. So, we're going to talk about some of that during the show. We're going to talk about options that are out there for people who might be struggling with addiction or homelessness or mental health issues and not know where to go, right? We're going to give you some free options on where you can go and you can take your problems and kind of treat yourself and kind of like heal yourself, right?
Mhm.
Which kind of brings me to
Yeah.
what the title of the show is, which is Right Way Live, Real Talk, Real Healing, right?
Right.
That's the whole idea. Jesus was a healer, right? And you can't kind of grow until you kind of heal from the inside and deal with all that stuff,
Mhm.
that some of us have had since childhood, right? You
Sure.
gotta you gotta work through some of your deepest, darkest fears and anxieties that you have and just face them head on and learn how to not look at it like a problem, so
Mhm.
that's what we're going to try to do with this show. We're going to try to bring on inspirational people. We're going to try to bring on people who have been inspirations in our own personal lives,
Yeah, people
maybe
from the community.
people from
People that you
right.
guys might even know,
And yeah, exactly, right,
you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Absolutely.
And people, yeah, you probably will know some of these people, and just people who've just been there to help us. So
Yeah.
that's basically it. And like Tony said, man, we're just going to completely wing this thing. We just feel like God's telling us to, I guess, tell our stories to
Yeah.
people, and maybe they dig it, and maybe they don't, but
Yeah, I mean,
um
to tell our testimonies, what we've both been through and where we're at today. Um, and I always say this, everybody loves a comeback story, and I was in a really bad situation before I met Mike. But since I've met Mike and God had put me into his life or vice versa, him and mine. But either way, we're basically just giving testimony in hopes that you can relate and not only relate, understand that we're just trying to help. Um, like via our testimonies to let you know you're not alone with the struggles that you're going through, to let you know that we've been through them ourselves. And here we are now, extending our hands and opening our arms to help others. So,
And that's really what the whole point is, right? That's
yeah,
what the whole point is. And we may not get, 2 million subscribers, and that's not necessarily what we're after. Like, we don't
yeah,
really care if we get, 10 subscribers or not. We're all about helping people heal. Like, that is what it's all about. And quite honestly, we probably won't have that many people watching our live videos because we don't have that many subscribers. We got like 4, right? So like that's it. and that's cool, right? So, but of those four people, maybe we impact somebody's life, and maybe they do, have a wake up call in their life, and
Yeah.
maybe they do change their ways, and maybe they do, maybe start walking with God, right? So, like, I mean, how's that a bad thing, right? So, like, that's what I feel like, we've been given this platform that can reach God only knows how many people,
Yeah.
right? So, like, and it's up to God who it reaches, right? Like, I mean, all it could take is one person to see one of our episodes and say, "Man, these guys, they're on to something. This is pretty cool.
Mhm.
Maybe we should promote them, right?" And then we just get shared on the right page, and we have 2 million subscribers like that. Like, if
Yeah.
that's what God's plan is, then that's what God's
Right.
plan is. Like,
I mean, we hope to help many.
that's the
That's
goal, right?
our plan.
That's the
But
goal.
even if one person changes their life via our podcasts, it's worth it.
Right,
It's worth it.
right.
Just one person changes their life by watching our podcasts. That would be
Or
amazing.
help somebody else change their life, right?
Sure.
Because, like, you can help somebody else too. You don't always have to be the one that make the change. Maybe you just need to be encouraged to, talk to that homeless person that's selling artwork out of the back of a pickup truck in the shopping center, right? Hey, maybe you just
Mhm.
say, "Hey, we're gonna learn a little bit more about that on the next
You got to tune
episode."
in on
Got
Friday.
to tune in on Friday night about that, but boy, Tony's got a story, man. He really does. And we're going to have about an hour long program of Tony kind of telling his story about. Well, cat's out of the bag, right? You were homeless, right?
Yeah, I
So,
was
so
homeless.
cat's out of the bag.
Yep.
He was homeless,
Yep.
and he was selling artwork out of the back of his pickup truck in
Yep.
the local shopping center in Perry Hall, Maryland.
Yeah. With my
Um,
senior dog.
Right, with
It was
his dog, who's
it,
actually sitting with us right now,
yeah,
Chippy, right?
he's sitting right behind me.
Sitting with us, drinking
Yeah.
his water, getting ready to get some medication, and but
Yeah.
it's it's a great time, man, and so we wound up, hooking up, and he's going to tell how maybe he even became homeless, right? Because it's a process, man.
Yeah.
It's not like you just wake up one day and then you're just standing on the corner asking people for money. Like, it's a
Yeah.
progression, and some
And
of it's bad luck and
I
some of
surely
it's
was one of those people that, from the outside looking in was saying, well, that could never happen to me.
right,
That I just don't see where that could ever happen to
right,
me.
right,
And it did,
right, right.
you know?
It did. And you know what?
Boom.
I was one
Yeah.
of them people who's out there making $900,000 a year, and I said, "Boy, man, ain't nothing ever gonna happen to me. I'm untouchable, man.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody gonna get me. I can do anything I want to do. I got all the
Mhm.
money in the world, right?"
Yeah.
And boy, was I wrong, right?
Yeah.
I wound up writing a book about that one, but boy, so I got a story to tell too, So we both got incredible stories, and our hopes, honestly, too, with doing this podcast is that we know that you, the watcher, the viewer, whatever, we know that you have an incredible story too. And we want to encourage people to tell their stories, man. Like,
Mhm.
tell your stories. This is how people learn. This is how they get wise. This is how they get real, true wisdom from other people learning from other people's trials and tribulations and adversity and mistakes and how they made it through these kind of uncharted and navigatable. I don't know if I can say that right.
Say that 3
Water,
times
right? So I
fast.
can't
Yeah.
say that right.
Yeah.
But it's like it's crazy, man, and I never thought I meet somebody like Tony. I mean, if you told me a couple years ago this is what I'd be doing right now, yeah, in between working 12 hours a day selling real estate, and
Mhm.
helping run new brokerage that I just affiliated with. I mean, it's been crazy. It's just it's crazy. God's got me doing a million different things, and but the thing is, like, as much as I used to like be driven by money and be driven by the dollar and be driven by, I want to make more, I want to achieve more. I'd write the goal, I'd write the number on the wall, and that's what I need to hit to be happy, right?
Mhm.
And the funny thing is that, I hit the numbers. I always hit the numbers. I was always number one, but I was never really happy, right? Not until, I started walking with God, man. And I literally every day now, I feel like, I mean, it's almost 8 o'clock tonight and I'm still going, right? I still got to go help Tony do something else after this. Then he's got to run somewhere else and then come back and all this stuff. So
Yeah.
we still got stuff to do, but it's just like, I feel like every day I live now is completely satisfying, and I feel like I've had a complete day, and that's how I try to live my life, and that's
Yeah.
how I encourage you to live your life. And there's some books we're going to share on here, some books I've read, maybe some books Tony's read
Mhm.
that have really helped kind of shape our lives
Yeah.
and get us to where we are today. And we're not trying to be all cocky and condescending and acting like we know it all and all that. That's not what we're doing here. We're just
Just a
saying
couple of real dudes,
we've been
you
through
know?
a lot of crap, man, like both of us, and we both been really high on life, and we both been really low on life, and we both made it through, and we're still here, and we're still standing, and some people watching may be struggling, right? And they may be thinking, maybe I don't want to be here no more. And maybe they should watch our shows and learn why you should be here, right? Like everybody needs to be here, right? Like,
Mhm.
so
To find
yeah,
your
find
purpose,
your purpose.
you
That's the
know?
key, man.
And
Find your
that's what you were
purpose.
just saying.
Right.
You live a life now with
Right,
purpose,
I
you know?
do. It's the purpose is whatever he decides, right?
Yeah.
And that's the beauty thing about it is that every single day is like a new adventure for me because
Mhm.
I don't know what I didn't know this is what I'd be doing at 8 o'clock
Right.
yesterday when I was like, what am I
No,
doing tomorrow
me
night?
either,
I don't know.
you
I
know?
don't know.
I
So,
woke up and all of
you
a sudden
know,
I had to be
and
out.
I had a couple appointments planned today, and I got a couple phone calls and a couple emails, and a couple canceled and changed their mind, and all of a sudden they weren't appointments anymore. But then God had replaced it with something else
Mhm.
that was more important that was going on today, and we're going to talk about that on Friday. What happened today?
Friday.
Got to tune in Friday, 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 and we picked Friday night at 8, so that literally, man, like just grab your popcorn, put your feet up, put on YouTube, put on our channel, and I promise that everybody's going to learn something, right? I don't know what you're going to learn, but like once the spirit kind of comes on me and comes on Tony, and we just start talking, there's a lot of good lessons that come. There's a lot of good wisdom that comes, and we are pretty entertaining. We are pretty entertaining guys, I
Yeah.
think, and
Yeah, I would say so.
we have a lot of fun, man. Like life's all about having fun, and that's what it's all about. So if you want to have some fun, and you want to heal, and you want to get healed from head to toe, and have your problems and your stress and everything just kind of melt away, and be able to live a life of peace and joy and happiness and self-control, right? This is all in the Bible, by the way, in John, right? About the fruits of the spirit.
Mhm.
These are all fruits of the spirit that we're talking about here. Like, it's real, man. This stuff is real. So, we're gonna put a little bit of that in here, sprinkle a little bit of that in here. But I don't want you all to feel like this is like a church show. I kind of was doing that a little bit with a different podcast idea, but God kind of put the plug on that, pulled it out, and said, "Let's try something else. You're catching on to something I want you to do, but
You're right,
not quite the
right.
right thing." So,
This isn't
this is kind of the right
specific
thing I
avenue.
think we're
This
gonna
is the right
do.
thing.
I think this is.
Yeah.
I think this
It's
is.
again real talk,
Mhm,
real healing.
mhm.
And you
With
gotta
real
tune in
people.
on Fridays at 8 o'clock,
Mhm.
and we'll all help each other. How's
So,
that sound?
yeah, so like this, subscribe to it, share it with a friend,
Mhm.
and it's gonna be something different, man. This is just something totally different than just turning on the old TV and watching a bunch of commercials and stuff. Because we don't have commercials, because
Right.
we don't have a following, so we don't have sponsors, we don't have nothing. We're just two regular guys just talking and keeping you entertained, and hopefully, if you log on, the cool thing is with YouTube, right? This is interactive, so we can be live, which we love doing live. I mean, I could go for another 2 hours. That's just how I am.
Yeah.
Tony's like, I got stuff to do. Come on, wrap this up, right? He's like, come on, man, wrap this up. I ain't got more
Well,
time.
we're
He's
gonna
like,
let it unleash on Friday.
we're gonna let it go Friday,
This
but
is just the
yeah.
teaser
But
video.
I just letting you know, man, when I get going, I keep on going. So, and the more interaction we get and the more, people commenting and chatting with us and saying stuff to us. I mean, this could be like a really fun type of thing here. And we could really learn a lot from each other and you could share some stuff and who knows who we wind up meeting on here, man. I mean,
Yeah.
this is the internet, right?
Yeah.
We could meet somebody from like Iran on here or
Yeah.
something. You know what
Right.
I mean? Like
Yeah.
you don't know
Absolutely.
what you're gonna get on
But
here.
we're just a couple of guys
Right.
from the neighborhood.
Couple of
You know?
guys from Perry Hall, Maryland, right, coming to you
Yeah.
live every Friday night at 8 o'clock. For right now, we're gonna be coming right here from Gamire Homes in the conference room every Friday night at 8 o'clock until we get some big sponsor or something, and then we get a fancy studio or
Right.
something,
Then
right?
you'll see some bucks.
Maybe that
Then
works.
tune
Maybe
in to
who knows? Then
bucks.
say right.
Yeah.
Then you turn into the network,
Mhm.
right? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not selling myself to any network. I
No.
keep all my own rights for all my own stuff. So no
Yeah.
matter how big we get, we're going to keep it to ourselves, man. So
Yeah.
don't want anybody making rules. We like to make the rules because who we get our rules from is God, man. God makes our rules. So that's how we do it. Same thing with your donations, just so you know. Right Way Outreach Ministries is a completely independently run nonprofit organization. We do not have office space that we need to pay. We do not have administrative staff that we need to pay. We do not have pastors that we need to pay. We do not have clerical staff or any we have nothing, no insurances, no vehicles, no nothing like that, right?
Mhm.
So when you make a donation to Right Way Outreach Ministries, 90 like I'm going to say like 98.999% of it is going to go right to the people who need it the most, which are the people that we benefit, like people like Tony when he was in
Mhm.
his spot. And you're going to hear all about that Friday night. But how we were able to help him because of your gracious donations. And,
Yeah.
I mean, look, man, you can make $1 donation, you can make a $500 donation, you make $10,000 donation. But whatever donation you make, if you click on our link in our on our you go to our page and there's a link to make a donation that comes directly to us through a Zephy account, which is for nonprofit organizations. We get 100% of the money. It's not like GoFundMe where they take a cut. We get it all. You can either opt to pay them like a fee to keep this free for nonprofits, or you can just do a donation and not pay them anything. Completely up to you. And when you do make a donation, you get an automatic email sent to you with a PDF letter that you can print out and put in your tax folder so that you can write off your donation for your taxes.
Mhm.
And this money, like I said, our big major goal is to find a house that we can purchase, that Tony can live in, that he can run the house, and we can find people literally like on the street that need housing and need help and need us and need our services for us to be able to help them and bring them into the home and help them kind of change their lives, right? Like that's what
Yeah.
we're trying to do. We're not taking any government money. We're not taking any grant money. We're not taking anything like that because we don't want any rules or regulations and guidelines from the federal or state government. We want to run it all ourselves. So we are taking from institutions, from foundations, from banks, from companies, from corporations, and also from individuals, families, just like churches do. But this is the money goes to our recipients. I can't stress that enough. So please give with an open heart, and anything that you give, I'm sure you'll be blessed for, and it will be going to the right place to the right people.
Amen.
We'll
Yeah.
be because we do things the right way at Right Way Outreach Ministries. It's the whole reason we started, and I'll have a whole episode on why we named it Right Way Outreach Ministries, and then we're going to talk about everything, man. So I'm an open book. If you have questions for me, shoot them in the text. If you have questions for
Same.
Tony, he's
Absolutely.
an open book. Shoot them to him. and we're just gonna, we're gonna ride this thing and see what happens. So we've already been babbling for 34 minutes. See how fast it goes,
Yeah,
right? That goes
yeah.
pretty quick, right? So Friday night, 8 o'clock, be back here live, and we're gonna be telling Tony's story on how he became homeless, and then how we found him as an organization,
Mhm.
and then what we did to help him as an organization, and actually what we continue to do
Yeah.
to help Tony as an organization. Even tonight, we're helping him. So,
Mhm.
thanks for tuning in. Now you know what we're about, and just be ready for Friday night at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Right, Perry Hall,
Yeah.
Maryland.
See you
Community
Friday.
Hymns. See you Friday. Peace out.